find yourself someone that's gonna motivate you like that. Find the right wife, because it goes a long, or husband, or whatever.
Yeah.
It goes a long way. It takes a long time to build your own brand, build your own business. It doesn't happen overnight. You're not gonna go from $0 to $100,000 in a weekend. It's just not going to happen. Pressure is a privilege. The more pressure you have, the more you're succeeding in life. And you need to now take that pressure and turn it into motivation. Because the better you get, the more pressure you're gonna put on yourself.
Welcome, Albert. Today we are here with Albert Bongiorno of Nest Seekers International, a full-service luxury real estate brokerage, correct?
Yes, that's what we are.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I mean, cool background. I bought my insurance agency 5 years ago, and your whole family's been like longtime clients of the agency.
Yes.
And I think it was, I don't know, maybe 6 months or a year ago, we connected on social media. Obviously, we've talked, in doing some policy reviews and stuff like that. But I started following you and getting to know your story a little bit more. And we connected a few weeks ago. I was like, dude, we got to have you on. So I'm excited to talk and share a little bit of your story.
I was very excited when you called me. I was.
Funny, your mom actually made a comment or something, right? Like,
That was funny. My mother calls me, and she's not really up to date with the whole social media thing. She has Facebook and this, but I'm more on Instagram, let's say. And she calls me and goes, "Do you know Daniel?" I'm like, "I know a lot of Daniels." Like, what Daniel are you talking about? The Allstate guy, the Allstate insurance company guy. I said, "Who?" And they were like, "The guy that we've been using for over 20 years." I'm like, "Oh, our Allstate insurance guy." And she's like, I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "He follows you on social media." I said, "Oh, Ma, there's a lot of people that follow me." She was like, I didn't understand. I don't get it." And it was just a funny story. And then you called, and I was just like, "Oh, we got to do something together."
Yeah, that was a good story, and I can relate, having parents probably the same age, their connection is still to social media. My mom's on Facebook a lot, but if I ask her to do something on it, she's getting hacked every other day, and, who knows if she's able to even log in half the time. It's funny.
Yeah. They're definitely my number one fans. I'll tell you that. Because anything I post on Facebook, my mother or my father,
You
like,
could depend on them
"Who's the
for a
first
like or a
comment?"
comment.
Yeah,
Yep.
always.
Yeah.
So I love him for that.
So let's kinda take a step back though, obviously we'll talk about what you're doing and where you're doing today, but how did you even get into real estate?
So I was in the hospitality business for 16 years.
Okay.
On the side, to make more money, I decided to, let's dabble into real estate. I was still working in the restaurant, 5 days a week, 10 hours a day. But on the weekends, or if I had nights off, let's say, I tried picking up some clients, to buy and sell houses. I started with that. COVID happened. We went into an extreme shutdown, obviously.
Good times for everyone.
Yeah. The restaurant I was working in never closed.
Okay.
So we were still open 7 days a week, 9 a.m. to, let's say, 10 p.m. I was a general manager. So I really allowed my team to not be there. We laid off 72 employees at the time, and it was a bad time,
Yeah.
and I didn't know where the world was going to go. So I said, let me really start trying to figure out a game plan to where I can protect me and my family. What's going to happen in the next 2, 3 years, we don't know.
Yeah.
So I got into real estate. Fortunately, during COVID, we had that time, so
Yeah.
that is a fortunate thing. And I started selling some homes. I started helping buyers, buy homes. I started selling some homes, and it felt good to help.
Mhm.
It felt good to put smiles on people's faces when they had no idea where to go, where to be, you know, and then when to educate them in the process of buying and selling really made me feel good about me.
That's great. Now, did you have well, I kinda know the answer to this, but I just love this story. Like, tell us about, like, your big break, I guess, in your real estate journey.
So to date, I've been doing real estate for 6, 7 years.
Okay.
A lot of people can just say they're doing real estate.
Yeah.
So I've been just doing it for 6, 7 years. I've been all in real estate for 4 years now.
Okay.
Up until 2 years ago, you know, you have a sale here, you have a sale here, you're selling 7, 8 houses. You're just getting by. You are. You're just paying the bills, making sure there's food on the table for your kids. Two summers ago, I got my first listing in Southampton,
Okay.
and it was different. Different meaning I stepped into it. I stepped
Sometimes
in
you need a little luck, right?
stepped into it, and it is not the same
Okay.
when you're selling a $700,000-$800,000 house compared to a $3.5 million house. So now this is where it comes into your clients spend a lot of time in that area of where they're looking before they buy. So for instance, in this case, seller, we signed the listing paperwork, we started talking. She needed a lot of help. I was there to help her. I was there to help her clean out her house. I was there to help her do whatever she needed.
Mhm.
Where's she gonna go when we do sell? So I spent about 3 months at this house, 8 hours a day before we even brought it to the market, you know? We bring it to the market, great showings, good open house. Just didn't have that many offers. Didn't have offers that we wanted. Finally, a client comes in, goes, "Okay, we want this house." Great. So we make an offer, and from July 8th, I know the exact date, to October 1st. 2 times a week, we would meet at the property, sit in the backyard at, let's say, 10 a.m., and then we would go back at 4:30 p.m. and listen to the train. They wanted to hear the train. They wanted to hear the surroundings. They wanted to hear the nature. They wanted to hear the cars passing. They wanted to feel the energy that they wanted to live. So for July, right? July, August, September, 4 months we did that.
Okay.
3 months prior, I was helping her clean the house out. So finally we get it. We're in contract. Great.
Now let me take a step back. So you were, so to speak, double dipping at this point? You had the buyer and the seller, or no?
Yes.
Okay, so, I mean, that's a realtor's dream, right?
That is the realtor's dream.
Okay.
Yes, that's a realtor's
So
dream.
so you had the seller, and now you've connected the buyer and the seller in this case, so you've got potentially very big payday coming your way.
It would have been a good one. It
Okay.
would have been a good one. And while this is all going on, again, we're living day by day. When it takes a long time to build your own brand, build your own business,
Yeah,
it doesn't happen overnight.
I get it.
Okay. You're not going to go from 0 to $100,000 in a weekend. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah,
And you have bills, you need to survive. So it's like you could sell, you could sell, you could sell, but you're still going to come back,
yeah.
you know? So at that time, my back was against the wall, fully against the wall, you
So
know?
you went from the restaurant industry, now, this was a side hustle, now you're all in on it, but you're grinding, you're hustling, so, your financial situation isn't where it is today, right?
No, I didn't have a dollar to my name. I had $0. And I can always be thankful for my wife. She has always been there. She has never, ever, ever even thought about asking me, hey, maybe there's something else that we should do here. She was always encouraging. She still is to this day. Find yourself someone that's gonna motivate you
Yeah,
like that. Find the right wife because it goes a long or husband or whatever.
yeah.
It goes a long way. And I'm thankful every day for her, my kids. My kids saw it. They could see it, they could feel it. As much as you think that they don't, they see everything.
I know. And we talked about this, and we'll get to the family, lifestyle and the balance, but let's kinda go back to this double dip dream, right, that
So
gets you off the
we're
ground.
back here. So now when you're selling in the Hamptons, you have to deal with a lot of restrictions. So it's not just, oh, let's get do you have an updated CO? It doesn't work like that. So in this case, this was in Southampton Village. So now you're dealing with the village, right? So you need to know the certain setbacks. You need to know what could be on the property, what can't be on the property. So in this case, there was a shed in the backyard where we hired the expediter. They did the whole fence around the pool. We did all that. And then they finally said, well, this shed can't be here. I said, oh shit, what do we do? Client at the time, again, we had to sell because we had to sell. And it would have been a big project to pay someone to come take it down. So I said, okay. And again, I had no money in my name. I couldn't go hire someone and just say, hey, take this down. So
Yeah, I'll bank it after the commission.
yeah, like,
Like,
all right, cool, like done. And I guess this is where our white glove service comes in. And this is more than white glove service. This is where I went to True Value and grabbed the hacksaw and said, I don't even know how to use this thing. Let me start YouTubing how to use a hacksaw. And I was there for a week straight and destroyed this shed by hand, by myself. 10,000 pounds this shed ended up being.
wow.
And got it done. And the next day after I finally graded, I had to grade the property because that's what the client wanted.
Yeah.
The village inspector came out and said, okay, you're all good to go. And I got home that night and just started crying, you know, and more of just a relief in a way where if you put your mind to something, it will happen.
Yeah.
But you need to get up and you need to do it.
Yeah.
Don't just think it. Don't just say it. Go do it. Because if you're not, you're going to be in the same situation you were, a year ago.
Yeah. So for you, this was obviously a pivotal moment in your career and your life. You just sold a 3.5+ million house. You had the buyer and the seller. You're at the finish line and you see this shed that almost breaks the deal.
Yep.
So, but you cleared that obstacle and you make this big sale. So now you finally have a little bit of breathing room, right? How have things been since then? So it's been 2 years now. Like, talk to us a little bit about, you know, what your career has been now. And
It's been a roller coaster ride. You
okay,
know, the market, when it comes to the luxury market, you know, in the stable markets, let's say the Hamptons, they've been great, but it takes time. It takes a lot of time to build relationships.
yeah,
You're not just going to knock on a door in the Hamptons and saying, hey, I'm Albert Bongiorno. I'm going to sell your house today. It doesn't happen like that.
yeah,
It takes months or even years to build relationships, build rapport
yeah.
with those type of people, so
And that's not you come from pretty humble beginnings, right? So
very humble beginnings. So I always will remember where I came from.
yeah,
You know, I went to Sachem, I grew up in Ronkonkoma,
yeah.
you know.
So your network naturally is not out in the Hamptons, right? So
Mhm.
so that's a lot of work, grind, hustle to build that. So you're still selling your everyday homes too, right? That's your network of who
I
you grew
am.
up with,
I
right?
am because if anyone ever calls me and says, hey, I need help, I don't care what the price is.
Yeah,
That's not my prerogative.
yeah,
My job is to help you.
okay,
So what do you need? What are you looking for?
yeah,
Okay. There's not a price point that you can put on that
yeah.
to show your value, to show your worth, to help people.
Yeah, I love that. I think, a big turning point for me, just to kind of share how I understand that. There are a lot of clients we can't help in our business, right? Like, maybe, we didn't have the lowest price or maybe they didn't qualify because they had too many accidents or whatnot. And I used to just say, I'm sorry, like I'll call you back when things change. And I recently started going, I just don't say no to anybody. Like I will find them even if it's not with my company, I'm gonna help them find insurance. And the amount of referrals I get from those people has turned into other business for me, and so it sometimes going that extra mile and just helping really is, like, all the difference.
Yeah.
And I love your honesty though, 'cause I think it was I don't know if it was a couple weeks back, I watched one of your Instagram reels and, I think it was Instagram, maybe Facebook, but you were just in the car, casual,
Hmm.
and you were talking about how there's gonna be essentially 4, interest rate cuts. And you said, "You think I'm gonna tell you to sell your house right now, but don't," which was, that's obviously counterintuitive or counterproductive for you, right? But
Someone that's
given
looking
real
to sell
advice.
everything, and you know what? Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing, but I can't lie, it's not in my blood,
Yeah,
and it's the truth. I still say wait, I still say wait to the new year. Obviously, if you need to sell now, okay, if there's circumstances, I'm going to help you.
yeah.
Of course I am. I'm going to guide you in the perfect direction, okay? And that's what I do. But I'm just and sometimes it's a bad thing. Sometimes it is a bad thing where you're like, "Oh shit, should I have said something else?" But you know what?
I think if you're doing the right thing and your intentions are there, at the end of the day, people value, the genuineness of an individual, right? We all rely on others, for their expertise, right? I mean, not to stereotype any profession, right? But we all hate going and buying a car, right? Because it's the used car salesman, right? Or you go to the mechanic and there's a reason why everyone in the family uses the same mechanic, right? Because you feel like you could trust them,
Yeah.
right? So when you find that person you can trust, it goes a long way. People still want to do business with people they trust.
So it's a great point that you bring that up because that's one of the first things that I tried not doing because I hated going car shopping because of that reason. It it's like I'm just here to look, and then they try and they get you and this and that, and that's great, do you.
Yeah,
But that's not how I'm building my business and my brand.
exactly.
You know, I'm here to help you. I'm here to guide you. What questions you have, you answer. If you don't like the house, that's it. You don't like it. That's it. I'm not going to be able to say anything else more
Yeah.
if you don't like it.
And at
So,
the end of the day, if you did get them into that house that they didn't like, and 2 years from now they're unhappy with it, they're not gonna that's not someone that's gonna wanna refer you, right? But if they're there 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and they're loving the house that you matched them up with, right? When their friends, family, are looking for a house, your name's gonna come out of their mouth.
yeah,
And so that's where, growing
really,
that network.
really build that network off of integrity and honesty.
So tell me a little bit about Nest Seekers International, because it's a little unique, right? It's a luxury real estate brokerage, but so much more than that, right?
Yes. So we're more of a luxury real estate brand.
Okay.
So we're really connecting social media and networking and multi-platforming. And we have different resources, to get you from point A to point B to point C. We're just not selling homes. We're selling a luxury lifestyle.
Okay.
Okay. And what that means is that just because you don't maybe not want to buy a luxury house, we'll be able to get you a luxury yacht.
Okay.
Okay. We'll be able to get you a yacht. If you want to charter a jet or purchase a jet, we have that department too. So we have Nest Jets, we have Nest Yachts.
Wow.
Okay. We also have a new division. We have fine arts. So Nest Arts. So if you're a buyer or a seller, we go into your home and you have great art that you're looking to sell or this and that, we have that company now.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
awesome. So kind of a one-stop shop,
We
right?
are a one-stop shop for all of your luxury lifestyle needs.
Yeah. So that person that's buying that, you know, house in the Hamptons or Miami, or the city, the penthouse in the city, they not only can be matched with the home, but their transportation, their art collection, you kind of get them going with the decorating right away.
Yes. And that's where like all the whole connection comes in to your client base. Because if you have a client that owns a yacht, and you have a client that's looking to sell their multi-million dollar estate in the Hamptons, maybe that yacht owner wants to buy that house now.
Hmm.
So now our database and our network, which now we're international. We have offices in Milan, we have offices in Dubai, Miami, New York City, the Hamptons. I can go on
Yeah.
you know? So we have all the international client base to bring that all together now.
Well,
And now we're just not selling you a home.
yeah. So much more than that. It's
Yep.
cool.
So that's
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 really
us.
cool. So let's talk a little bit about your life, right? Because it's being a realtor, right? Real estate broker, and particularly in the luxury market, I would imagine that the demands are really high, right? Just naturally, a realtor is working weekends, nights, things like that. But you have a beautiful wife that you mentioned. I see you talk very highly of her all the time. Always social media. You're sharing, and you can tell there's a genuine love there. You have 2 kids, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, kids are
My
in
daughter.
sports, right?
Yep.
Like, so, I mean, that's a job in itself for most. How are you balancing life?
You figure it out,
Okay.
okay? So my daughter actually got me a bracelet, and I don't even know why she got it for me, when she got it for me, and I actually found it in my car, and it's hanging right now. It says, "Pressure is a privilege," okay? The more pressure you have, the more you're succeeding in life, and you need to now take that pressure and turn it into motivation to know that on the right path and just keep going. Just keep going.
Yeah,
Because the better you get, the more pressure you're gonna put on yourself,
yeah.
okay? Because you wanna keep doing better. If you don't wanna keep succeeding in life, then, go talk to somebody, okay? But you need to keep going, you need to keep striving for excellence,
And so
okay?
how are you balancing it though? Because I know you say you just figure it out, but there's only so much time in the day, right? Uh,
I'll always make my family first. So, beginning of the week, I set my schedule, and I set it around my kids. I set it around my family, okay? There's gonna be the one-offs.
of course.
There's going to be. But that's one thing I can say that I do have and that I do love is that I do have the time to be able to make that decision.
I know there's been a few connection points that you and I have shared. You talked about a bracelet, right? So I have this bracelet here. It's a cheap little flimsy thing, but I found it on Amazon, and I got it for me and my daughter. My daughter's 5, right? So I have a black one. She has a pink one, and it has half a heart, and hers has the other half a heart. And, I mean, it was like 20 bucks, right? I just gave it to her one day and I told her, and it's so cool. The I know when I'm getting out of balance because I wear mine every day. She doesn't, but she'll pull it out randomly and she'll be like, "Daddy, let's put I'm gonna wear my bracelet today. Let's put the hearts together so I feel your energy or whatever." And when she does this, I know I'm a little bit out of balance.
Yeah.
Like, I know she needs more me time, because shit does happen, as you
Love
said,
it.
right? You get and it's crazy. So when you said the bracelet, I was like, "Oh my god, it's another connection." Like, it's cool.
They could feel something else, man.
Yeah. It is not easy though, balancing, you have your ambition, your drive, but as you said, like, you wanna lead by example, you wanna give your kids everything, but there's only so much time in the day.
You're right. You're right. And, you know, a lot of people look at it like you don't work,
Yeah.
you know, you're able to spend time at your kids' games and I'm at every single one. I am.
Yeah.
They don't see what's going on in the background,
Of course.
but they also don't need to know.
Yeah. It's true.
It's my life, it's my job. You have enough pressure being a kid right now. So I'm going to be there for you at all given times whenever you need me. But I'm never going to take my stress and put it onto them
I love it.
because they're going through enough, going through their teenage years. And, my daughter, going to college next year. My son's 15, really trying to make an impact and playing different sports.
Yeah.
They don't need my stress.
Yeah.
What is that gonna do for them? It's not gonna make them grow. It's
Yeah.
not gonna make them better people.
It's awesome.
So just continue being there for them.
Yeah, and it having that support network is everything for sure. You talked about sometimes the perception, right? Like of work and, being there for everything. For me, that's so powerful. Like just I'm sure there's an element of why you do what you do that's also about being able to control your time in your life. So for me, like one of the greatest things about me owning the business that I do is that I don't have to miss anything. You know, it it's not that I put in the hours, right? But I have that flexibility. Like I don't have that boss that says, you need to be in the office at 9 o'clock, you know? So when my daughter has her Halloween parade in a couple of weeks, you know, and it's at 2:30 in the middle of the day, I'm gonna be there. I will not have to miss that. Um, Last year was a little tough. She was in universal pre-K and there were she was in 2 different classes, and I was at 2 Father's Day things every week, and I was like, but those are moments she's not gonna forget, and I prioritize those, and you figure the other shit out, you know? So that's the blessing, right? It's not easy. I think everyone thinks that owning your own business is just, uh, they only see the fact that you're there or, all sunshines and
It
rainbows,
also
and
can
it's
be a
not.
curse. You are your worst enemy,
Mhm.
okay? You need to set your own game plans. You need to set your own appointments. There's no one else there doing it for you. So, yeah, we have the luxury of being able to do whatever we want, right?
Yeah.
Do whatever we want. We do whatever we want. But if you're not setting game plans, setting business plans, knowing your next step or your next second step or third step or fourth step, you're not going to succeed. And being your own business owner and trying to create this path of, happiness and wellness, you need to know who you are.
Yeah.
And the first thing that I've learned about succeeding in life is knowing who you are, and not worrying about what anyone else thinks. And it's very cliche to say,
No, I get it.
but when you finally learn, who gives a shit?
Yeah. Be authentically you, right?
Just be you.
And accept, your strengths and your weaknesses, right? Um, and
Because we all have them.
absolutely. And even social media, it's so uncomfortable sometimes, like, going out and being on social media, right?
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, it's a necessary evil, right? And listen, it could be a blessing, right? Like, we're still networking and doing all that, but word of mouth spreads so much quicker now, right? You can get in front of so many more, people, but, uh, you have to be comfortable and just say, "I don't care." Like, I don't like, okay,
And I think those are the people that are going to really succeed in the next upcoming years. So, National Association of Realtors, they're like Housing Wire and stuff. It's coming from. We've lost over 100,000 agents. Okay, since 2024 already.
wow.
Okay, a lot of them were during COVID. They wanted to get their license. I call them COVID agents. They don't know what they're doing. They're just trying to sell their mother's, aunt's, cousin's, sister's, brother's house,
Mhm.
and they just collect a paycheck and move on. So we lost a lot. But when it comes to social media, everyone's on it,
Yeah.
you know, and they're talking to a camera. Okay. It's very hard now for certain people to get in front of somebody and just say, let's go have a cup of coffee. Let's go grab lunch. They don't know how to interact anymore. So the interaction part of just being yourself and going out there and exposing yourself to the world, it's not easy anymore. So it's something that you need to work on. So people that can just sit here and have a normal conversation now, I think will start going a lot more longer way when it comes to, building your own business.
Yeah, it's funny. It's interesting you're talking about that with adults and being able to engage in a real environment, right? Because that's what I worry about so much with the younger kids today, right? I mean, they are living on social media. We run a pretty tight ship, but it's funny. My daughter's already saying, "Well, when can I get an iPad? When can I?" Because she sees, friends or cousins have them, and we're just like, no, like it's not happening. So we limit her screen time and all that, but I know the day is gonna come, where she's gonna be on social media or whatever it might be, and it's tough, right? Sometimes, they feel so comfortable there, but then they don't feel comfortable in real human interaction.
They don't know how to
Yeah,
be real. They don't know how to be authentic. Everything is just social media this, social media that. What are they seeing? You know,
absolutely.
it's funny that you brought up your daughter. So last year, and this is when I really knew my son he's gonna do something good in life. And it's gonna be with his hands. He's gonna be some type of worker. We're sitting around, and I'm like, "Oh, like, where's your phone?" He was like, "It's away." Well, what do you mean it's away? He goes, I went in and saw I was on, using my phone too much. I guess there's
The
a
screen time. Yeah,
screen time.
yeah, yeah.
He goes, I was using it for X amount of times, X amount of hours, this and that. He goes, I locked it. He goes, I'm only allowed to be on screen time 1 hour a day now. No one told him to do that.
That's amazing.
He did it on his own. And I can't even, thank myself for doing that.
Yeah,
But some kids do have that
yeah,
still. And it made me feel great to be like, all right, there's something here.
yeah,
He has something, but a lot of kids, they can't do
yeah.
that.
I'm sure that was a proud moment for sure.
It was a very cool moment. I don't know,
Yeah,
proud, because I can't say that I did it because
sure.
I'm on my phone 18 hours a day,
Yeah,
you know? But for him to do that as a 14-year-old boy, it felt good. It felt like one of those wins in life
yeah.
where you're like, all right, he's doing something good.
That's awesome.
So it was a cool moment.
All right, so I like to wrap up with a little bit of a rapid round, okay? So I'm gonna check out my phone for a second, because I have a few, like, 4 or 5 rapid fire questions.
All
Just
right.
answer them as quickly as you can,
Okay.
okay? Um, Ready?
Ready?
All right. Favorite property you've ever sold?
140 Potato Lane, Southampton.
Potato Lane.
Potato Lane.
Wow, all right, I like it. Um, Dream home feature you can't live without?
Dream home feature I can't live without. Media room.
Okay. Hidden gem neighborhood on Long Island?
Oh, that's a good one. Hidden gem. I don't know if I want to give them up. Uh,
Just give me one.
Hidden gem. I'm gonna go Center Island, Oyster Bay.
Okay. One piece of advice for your younger self?
One piece of advice from my younger self. Dream big. Dream very big. And if you fall, just get back up and just keep going. Keep going and build your sphere of influence to the point where it's so tight where you don't need to bring anyone else in.
So, this was awesome. I appreciate you sitting down. I love, how you've built your business on relationships, not just transactions, right? And I'm confident that you're just gonna continue to grow and grow, and, that's great because that means there's more people you can refer to me.
Exactly.
So I love it. So where can people find you online though, or, like, follow your listings?
They can follow me on Facebook, or in my Instagram at Albert Bongiorno right now.
Okay, so it's at Albert Bongiorno on Facebook and on Instagram, right?
Yes.
Okay. Those are your social handles. That's great. Anything else, as far as following you? Is that that's the best place?
Those are the best right now. Maybe I'll start TikTok. Maybe I won't. I don't know. I don't know if I want
The
to.
dancing, the luxury dancing, real
I'll definitely start booty shaking, I guess, because
It seems that's what a lot of those are doing. So, I love it. I think you said it before I go there. I'm just gonna say, why don't you also throw out your phone number in case somebody wants to call you for a listing or needs some guidance.
So my direct line is 631-617-7748, and that's my direct mobile number.
Awesome, and I think you said it. Luxury isn't a price; it's a standard you live by, and I think that's pretty cool. It's more than just the home. It's
It's a
the entire
lifestyle.
lifestyle.
It's your
So,
whole lifestyle. It's what you dream for, and we sell dreams.
different for everybody too.
Yes.
Very good. Well, thank you, Albert. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan, so much.